Hi, good morning. It is good morning, 11:52, where I am on Monday, the 14th of March, and I hope that your week has kicked off well. I was just looking through the papers and sort of news today, seeing if there was anything particularly interesting to talk about. And, I scribbled down 4 or 5 things that I thought were worthy of comment. And then I came across one story that particularly moved me. It concerns a show that's on in London that I haven't heard of called Letters Live, in which various famous people, actors like Benedict Cumberbatch, Jude Law, read out remarkable letters, as the story puts it, remarkable letters. And one of the letters that was read out was a letter. It was read by an actress called Ellie Bamber. I'm saying that as if she's not famous. I can't. The name doesn't ring a bell, but if I saw the face, then I might know exactly who she is. And she reads out a letter that was written by tragic and heartrending letter written by the mother of a young child, I don't know what the ages are, but of a young child who'd recently been diagnosed with cancer. And at the time this letter was written, the child was still alive, and tragically the child has, since this letter was written, has passed away. But I don't really like just reading. I like to talk on these vlogs, but here you'll forgive me and indulge me because I haven't learnt this letter off by heart. And the letter written by the mother to J.K. Rowling goes like this. I write to you as the mother, a mummy, of a beautiful little girl. I'm sure you hear people tell you all the time that your words, your imagination, help them or their children in some way. Maybe they were helped out of depression by your words. Maybe they drew strength from the knowledge that Neville, now I don't know the Harry Potter books, heard these names, but it doesn't matter that I haven't heard of them. We're talking about fiction and a place where the kids go when they're reading these things. But from the knowledge that Neville grew up to be a hero against all the odds, maybe you taught a bookish boy that there are friends to be found from the pages of a novel. She says, I want to share with you what you taught my daughter, who was recently diagnosed with cancer. When I read her your stories, she didn't take the clear distinction between good and evil, but instead loved the grey characters. You taught her that for every chemo she has to go through, there'll be the opportunity to fly across a lake on a hippogriff. Well, that is, it doesn't matter. The point is still that the escape that the child gets from reading the book and from hearing the stories in the book. For every time her heart seizes with fear of pain, there will be me chasing it away with a Patronus charm. Your words built a castle for her to move into when the prognosis got worse. Mrs. Rowling, cancer threatened to take everything from my daughter, and your books turned out to be the fortress we so desperately needed to hide in. And the things you taught me, you made me realise that a mother's courage might come in the form of her tears. I might not have I might not have the physical ability to block her from what will take her, actually, I don't know if I'm going to get through this, to block her from what will take her away from me. But I can be gentle and loving like Molly, stoic in my affection like Minerva, protective and loyal like Hermione, and waiting to welcome her home like Lily. But the most important lesson you've taught us both: cancer may take her away from me in just a few short weeks. I might not be able to spare her the pain. But for every child who is taken too early, people will come together, huddling close in a big group, words held high to light the dark sky with the love they felt. You build Hogwarts as a home for her to return to, and for me. For that, I shall remain forever gratefully yours. Chrissy. Golly, I'm not sure that I'll ever read so succinctly and so clearly the power of books and how important they are, how they allow people to escape from wherever they are, to find comfort, to find inspiration, to find context, to find perspective. And clearly there, that did that. I can't even begin to imagine how moved J.K. Rowling must have been from reading that. I'm sure that she'll have had a lot of letters from kids, from fans, from parents, as to how her books have affected people. There may be other ones that are as powerful as that, but I can't imagine that there's any that she's read any letters that have been more powerful than that. I would certainly say that I've grown as a kid. I didn't really read that much, and he really read what I had to at school. And funnily enough, the stuff that I had to read at school that at the time I didn't like because it was work and it was something we had to do, I now love. Just to pick one, Great Expectations. That was a drag at school. I was doing that for O-level English, and now it's one of my favourite books. Whether that could be nostalgia and thinking back to my school days, I don't know. But I love Great Expectations, and I've just read over the weekend that I'd love to see this. That it's a show in London in the West End, so that would be a great one to go to because it gets very good crits. But certainly, as an adult, I'm reading a lot more, and I would now call myself a voracious reader. I've always got 2 books on the go. Usually got 2 books on the go at once, and I get a lot from books, not fictional, a bit of fiction, but not so much fiction, and pretty well know fantasy. I've never read the Harry Potter books, never particularly been drawn to them. I can see how powerful they are and how important they are in people's lives. For me, it's fiction and it's history and learning from the experiences of other people in different places, people in different times, how people come through hard times and what have you. So, I get a lot of inspiration and a lot of context and perspective in my life from reading about the lives of other people. I always think that it must be a great thing to study at university for 3 years, to study English. Must be great that for 3 years you've got the luxury time that you will, not have again, I guess, until you're 70 or 80, 90 years old, whatever it is, to just just have all that time just to read books and without moving. Just sitting there. Reading books and without physically, geographically moving, but in your mind, moving to different places with different people and living in different circumstances. It's just an incredible gift to be able to have 3 years just to read. And certainly my reading over the last few years, decades now, I suppose, has had a great effect on me. Music does that for me too. Music allows me. Music for me is it's like a magic carpet. I refer to it as a magic carpet. It allows me to shut my. So simple, just to sit there, kick back, get comfortable, headphones on, and listen to music. and be completely transported to another place, to another world. Music does that for me, comedy does that for me, movies do that for me, and books do that for me. And I don't know if that's why we love so many of our entertainers, because they are the ones that wave the magic wands, whether that is in their voices, whether it's in their bodies, whether it's in their acting, in their jokes, or in the pen that they write their books with. They perform a great service. I've really thought about it like that, but that is true. Right, I wanted to share that with you. I was very moved by it. And there you are. Right, it's been long, 10 minutes. So, as I say, I hope that the week has started well for you, and I wish everybody a good week, a successful week, a healthy week, a happy week. And I will be back again with you shortly with more thoughts on something.